Welcome Sioux Falls High School baseball fans. Today we're privileged to have the O'Gorman High School baseball coach John Ratzloff visiting with us. And we're here at the Avera Sports Institute, the home of all of our high school baseball programs' indoor practices. John, so far, how's it been going with indoor practice?
Well, I think it's been going very good. Obviously, we started with pitchers and catchers in early February, and that first four weeks always flies. It goes by. We started full team practices obviously last week. And it's going pretty good. Everybody's keeping an eye on the weather. Things are starting to thaw out a little bit. It's giving us a little hope. The numbers are coming in, and so far I'm very happy with what I'm seeing.
Well, I know everybody's excited to see grass for the first time since November probably. Now last year, the Knights, in your first season as head coach, 15-8, made it to the state tournament, got beat by crosstown rival Washington.
We did.
Comment a little bit about the season.
Well, I think last season was a little bit of a whirlwind early on, certainly being my first season, but I tell you what, we did have, it's kind of cliche, but we had a real good group of kids last year. I think we had 35 kids out, grades 9 through 12. Had some real good senior leadership last year with Jason Stolma, who's now playing college baseball down in Missouri. We started out a little slow out of the gates last year. I think we were 1-5. Took a road trip to Rapid City, got the kids together and spending some time together, and we really turned a corner after that and really turned it on. So I think, it was a very successful season from that standpoint. Our goal was to get to the state tournament, which we did, and we'd like to see that happen again this year. That's certainly another goal of ours.
Now, returning back from last year's team, you have Tony Vigor. Tony was the Player of the Year, the All-Tel Player of the Year here in Sioux Falls. What's going to help Tony out? Other players that you're going to be looking toward to a successful season?
You bet, you bet. When you look at our roster, we look like a young team, but we're really not. I think we have 8 seniors and 7 juniors out. So, but of those seniors returning, we had a couple, 3 kids that really produced and helped us heavily last year. Tony being one of those. We also have Corey Steffen returning, who was All-State last year in the outfield, and both Tony and Corey batted .417. I think they each hit in 20 to 30 runs. As a team last year, we scored 177, 180 runs last year, and so we had a lot of success from the plate. But I also think when you look at that roster, you're going to see a few young faces, some sophomores that really are going to have to contribute this year, especially off the mound. We have 3 or 4 kids who can help us in that rotation. So I think we're a little spoiled this year. We're going to have some youth that can help us, and we have some kids coming back that have proven that they can provide some leadership and also certainly some baseball skills. So.
Now, looking at your schedule, it's a very ambitious schedule. We're 3 weeks away, and you're going to be taking a trip down south to St. Louis. Could you comment a little bit about that trip to St. Louis?
Absolutely. Well, as we looked into last year towards this year, I think one of our goals was, as I stated, we started a little slow out of the gates last year, and the weather was certainly cooperative last year, but I think part of that ambition this year is to sign up. There's a Midwest Classic that takes place down in St. Louis. It's a 16-team tournament, predominantly schools from Illinois, Missouri, and certainly a couple of Nebraska schools. So, it should be pretty exciting, and I think our goal might be different than many teams. We want to go down there, get some innings in, and get some ABs, and get some kids in the base pads and try to get 5 games in ahead of that season start here in South Dakota. And we'll see. It's kind of an experiment this year. We'll see how it goes, but I think we have some support, and the kids have done some really good fundraising activities over the last 2 or 3 years, and to put us in that position, which is nice. And so that's our goal, to really go down, get some ABs, get some kids some innings, and just get the season started a little bit. My fear is I hope we don't go down there, play 5 games, have some success either way, come back and sit on our hands for a while. So we'll have to play it bigger and see. But
well, there is a big advantage for the southern schools when they've been outside.
Absolutely.
As nice as the indoor facility here is in the Avera Sports Institute, you still can't duplicate playing outside. Now, also looking at your schedule, outside the state, you're also going to make a swing to the Twin Cities. Could you comment a little bit about that?
We are. I was contacted by the coach from Shakopee, Minnesota. They're having just a small 4-team tournament that we're going to hop in. And so we'll be going up, I think it's the first weekend in May. We're going to head up to Shakopee, and then on a Friday night, play under the lights, wake up the next morning, and we play, I believe it's Minnetonka and Wayzata or Plymouth. And, we're also stretching our schedule a little bit towards Marshall, Minnesota, Pipestone. Trying to think a little bit outside the box, trying to schedule some home and aways, kind of an angle to get some teams in the area where high school is more of a sanctioned sport, and they have schedules that are formulated way ahead of time. Try to get some home and away set up to really give some of the Sioux Falls schools, not just ourselves, but some of the other schools opportunities to play some teams. from the surrounding areas, which I know has been done before, going back as 10 years ago when the league first started. I think there was a lot of ambition that way, but weather dictates a lot of things, so we'll have to see.
Well, Fargo, they're coming down to play.
They are.
North and south, so it's very similar. They're coming to the south.
Yeah.
Again, this is probably going to be like
Yeah,
Florida.
I talked to the coach from Fargo the other day, Fargo North, and he's pretty excited to come down. I said, well, hold that excitement until you actually get here. But so yeah, it's nice, and we'll be playing them, and hopefully we get a good weekend of weather for baseball, and we'll see what happens.
Now, the Knights again are going to be in the Region 2 Central District with Brookings and Watertown and Roosevelt. What's your thoughts about the conference or the regional this year?
Well, I think if you talk to any of the coaches in Region 2, we think we probably have one of the toughest regions. With Watertown coming in, they're always tough to beat. They got a good youthful 15, 16-year-old age group that really did well last year. That's going to contribute. Roosevelt's always our nemesis. I mean, we played them 4 times last year, and I know we came out ahead. We had some 2-1 ball games, 3-2 ball games, a lot of nail biters. So they're always our foe and one of our best rivals. So we look for them to be very competitive this year. And then you can't discount Brookings coming back too. They got lost a couple real good kids, lost a shortstop, a real good ball player that's playing at Mankato State or Minnesota State. But you look at our region from top to bottom, it's going to be very competitive. One of the interesting things is any high school team struggles with is left-handed pitching. And if you look at Roosevelt with Kyle Barber, left-hander, gave us fits last year, and Watertown's got a tall left-hander, and so does Brookings. So when you play those region games, you're going to see those tall lefties, and that without Aberdeen this year, who did have a solid left-hander last year, that riddled us a little bit. It's just going to be very competitive, and we look forward to that.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a very interesting spring, traveling for the Knights as well as good in-state competition. We wish you the very best, and hopefully the weather will cooperate, and you'll be able to get out in 3 weeks in St. Louis.
Absolutely, and I would like to say, too, that we're hosting the state tournament in Sioux Falls this year for some of the fans who are interested in that. And that is taking place on Memorial Day at the Pheasant Stadium or Sioux Falls Stadium. And hopefully we get a couple teams from Sioux Falls in there so we can get some crowd out and create some excitement for high school baseball.
As we get nearer to the state tournament, we'll probably try to have another SEBA Insider and visit with you about some of the teams that are coming in, and keep all the fans in Sioux Falls apprised of the progress of the Knights as well as the other 3 teams in the city. It should be a very exciting season. Again, from the Avera Sports Institute, this is a SEBA Insider, and we look forward to future installments. Next on the list will be Jason Askew, the manager of the Avera Sports Institute, talking about the programming that they have available for high school athletes as well as the younger players in the area.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, John, and good luck.